We're here to talk about equality. We're here to talk about why our equality is on trial. We are called Wait No More NYC, and we have enlisted these wonderful professional actors. We've brought you this testimony because it was not allowed to be televised, and it should be heard. We've brought you this testimony because although Prop 8 was declared unconstitutional on August 4th, it is currently on appeal. We've brought you this testimony because gay marriage is not legal here in New York.
The Prop 8 trial heard in U.S. District Court. Sandra Stier, a plaintiff, is under direct examination by the plaintiff's attorney, Ted Olson. The plaintiffs in this case are two loving same-sex couples who want to marry, just as any heterosexual couple in America has the right to do. Court is now in session.
Tell us what marriage then means to you. That's the second part of the question. What is it that's so special about the word, and that relationship, that institution of marriage that means so much to you that you want it so badly that you will bring this lawsuit?
Well, marriage is about making a public commitment to the world, to your partner, and to what I hope someday is my wife, to our friends, our family, our society, our community, our parents. It's just, to me, it's the way we tell them and each other that it's a lifetime commitment, or it's not. We are not girlfriends. We are not partners. We are married. I want to have a spouse. It's so different from domestic partnership, and I simply want that. And I have to say, having been married for 12 years and been in a domestic partnership for 10 years, it's different. It's not the same. I don't want to have to explain myself and have in a way that would indicate that there was something wrong with me.
Let me ask you this. If the state were essentially to get out of using the term marriage and admitting persons of the same sex or opposite sex into what is called a domestic union, spousal relationship, whatever name you want to use, but not marriage, wouldn't that put you on the same plane as others who have the same relationship, even though they are of opposite sex?
I believe that it would, because there wouldn't be anything different. Right now we are being treated differently, and if the state stopped, I guess, issuing marriage licenses and nobody else picked up the task that could exclude us, then we would have the same access. And if we had the same access, I would feel like we were being treated equally.
Even though the term marriage was not used?
Right. I guess you would have to also look at the people who were already married, and would they still have marriages? But if marriage were not a legal status sanctioned by the state or any type of government in our society, then I guess I wouldn't have to worry about not having access to it, because nobody else would either.
You said that you have to explain yourself. Could you give the court some examples of things in everyday life where you go, things you do, where this relationship you have to explain, or that it's awkward or humiliating or whatever? Just give the court some examples.
Well, there are a number of examples. It could be anything from going to our younger son's school and having to pick them up for something and telling, I consider myself to be their stepmother. And I do get Mother's Day cards, so I think that they think the same of me. But if I pick them up, I have to explain who I am. I'm their stepmother. I am the domestic partnership of their mother. That's, this is who I am. This is why I'm picking them up. Even for those who know what the term means, it doesn't reflect our relationship in any way that feels authentic, appropriately descriptive in any way. We have a loving, committed relationship. We are not business partners. We are not social partners. We are not glorified roommates. We are married. We want to be married. It's a different relationship.
Are there occasions where you have to fill out forms that ask whether you are married or name of spouse or things like that?
frequently. I have encountered forms at school where you have to say who, mother, who is the mother, who is the father. There's never a place for, instead of parent one, parent two, even there's something different. Doctor's offices, are you single or are you married or, divorced even? But, so I have to find myself, scratching something out, putting a line through it and saying domestic partner, making sure I explain to folks what that is and to make sure that our transaction can go smoothly.
Would being married have anything, would it provide you with any sense of security or stability that domestic partnership does not?
It would, it really would. It would provide me with a sense of inclusion to the social fabric. I think I would feel more respected by other people. I feel like our relationship is more respected, and then I could hold my head up high as in our family, and just our family could feel proud, and I want our children to feel proud of us. I don't want them to feel worried about us in any way, like our family isn't good enough.
When the campaign occurred between the time in May of 2008, when the California Supreme Court gave you a constitutional right, or announced that you had a constitutional right, and November, when the voters took that away, were you exposed to that election campaign in any way?
I was. I certainly saw ads on television, and I saw bumper stickers on cars, signs in yards, on front lawns. I went to a rally, so yes, I was quite exposed.
Did you hear things during that campaign in favor of Proposition 8 that were disturbing or upsetting to you?
Many things, really. Everything for the Yes on 8 campaign was disturbing on some level, and for some more than others.
Describe those emotions then. What bothered you on what level, and what bothered you on the other level? We need to inform the court what it was like.
Well, as I think folks probably remember, the campaign was very focused on protection, protect marriage and protect children, and with the subtle implication always that you need to be protected from gay marriage because it must be apparently bad or you wouldn't have to protect anybody from it. I felt like it was a constant reference to children. It felt manipulative, and it felt very harmful to me as an individual, to us as a couple and our children, our family, our community. I felt like there was a great harm being done, and I felt like it was used to sort of try to educate people or convince people that there was a great evil to be feared and that evil must be stopped, and that evil is us, I guess. And as a mom, of 4 kids, I don't know of if there's anything more inherent in parenting and stronger than the desire to protect your children. That's first and foremost. You protect your children. And the very notion that I'm part of what others need to protect their children from was just, it was more than upsetting. It was sickening, truly. I felt sickened by that campaign.
As a parent of 4 children, you must have a strong sense of what a good parent ought to be. You must have feelings about that. Would your boys be better off with a man in the house?
The best thing children can have is parents who love them. That's the most important thing. And I know I love my children with all my heart. Chris loves our children with all her heart. And that's what I believe to be the best thing for them, to be loved.
How do you feel about being a plaintiff in a case trying to change the Constitution? Is it a burden, or is it something that is easy for you because of what it means? Tell us about that.
Well, it doesn't feel like a burden. I feel like a tiny person in this huge, gigantic, this huge country that I just want my rights. And I guess I keep focusing on the federal Constitution more than the California Constitution. So I think I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just trying to get the rights that the Constitution already says I have. So I just want the same thing that I think I'm due, and that I think everybody else is due as well.
Well, let's see. Tell us now, if you are successful, how will it change your life? If given the right to marry and to be part of lots and lots and lots of same-sex couples that will also be given that right.
Why don't you rephrase that and stop about midway? How would your life be different? Isn't that what you are asking? Couldn't have said it any better than you just did, Your Honor.
Tell us what it means to you as a plaintiff in this case if you were to be successful. How would it change your life?
Well, I think it would change my life dramatically. The first time somebody said to me, "Are you married?" and I said yes, I would think, that feels so good. It feels good and honest and true. I would feel more secure. I would feel more accepted. I would feel more pride. I would feel less protective of my kids. I would feel less like I had to protect my kids or worry about them or worry that they feel any shame or sense of not belonging. So I think there are immediate, very real, and very desirable personal gains that I would experience. And of course, close family. But on a different level, you know, as a parent, you are always thinking about the other generation, the next generation, because they are in your house. So you are constantly thinking about the world that the society you're in, what you're doing for them, and are we building a good world for them? I want our kids to have a better life than we have right now. When they grow up, I want it to be better for them and for their kids. I want their lives to be better too. So I really do think it's about generation and the possibility of having grandchildren someday and having them live in a world where they grow up and whoever they fall in love with, it's okay because they can be honored and they can be true to themselves and they can be accepted by society and protected by their government. And that's what I hope can be the outcome of this case in the long run. And as somebody who is from one of those conservative little pockets of the country where it isn't necessarily a lot of difference in types of people that there are, having those legal protections is everything. It's important for these kids that don't have ready access to all types of people to at least feel like the option to be true to yourself is an option that they can have too. And that's what I hope for. I hope for something for Chris and I, but we are big, strong women. You know, we're in a good place in our lives right now, so we would benefit from it greatly, but other people over time, I think, would benefit in such a more profounding, life-changing way.
Thank you, Ms. Stier. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very well. You may cross-examine Mr. Brown.
We have no questions, Your Honor.
Very well then. Ms. Stier, thank you for your testimony. You may step down.